Google goes live. It is the Martin Fowler Scrum on a Friday, and we have Stamatios and Nicola and Brent and myself, Sam, and we'll go first. Yes, some progress this morning. Basically, given up on LibreOffice for the Anti-Power Society membership database, and I've started working in MS Access 2007. And actually, that's going quite well. I'm going to have to work over the weekend to catch back up on all the work I've lost. But yeah, that's. I feel like that. Hopefully, that should be stable. I mean, I'll go completely. If that then crashes and burns, I'll go completely nuts. But yeah, that's all to look forward to. Other things, I put in a pull request on website one, which will allow us to turn off the, gosh, what are they called? The notification about the next upcoming kind of Scrum on the front page. I guess I should replace that with something else. But anyway, that's something I wanted to get done. I've got that in. I really feel like we need to address the I'm just getting all these performance errors coming through all the time. Now that we've turned various reporting on properly. So that's that. Yeah, welcoming new premium mob members. Yes, and yeah, things basically under control. We've got the React mob coming up, although still, there's a question of what's the direction of that going forward, discussion of that in Premium Extra. Other things, we've got the Mook mob later on, and then the async photo meeting. And that's all from me. Nicola, how are things going with you?
Fine. I did some merges with the depend about pull requests on local support. I was taking a look to the view because we did the resizing of the map, and I think that it looks okay. So in staging, it's working fine. At first, it looked like a little off for me, but I got used, so it was fine. And I want to ask because Lin Song, he said that he was going to start using C9, and I would like to know how we are if we want to upgrade to Ruby 2.5.
Okay, on C9. Yeah, I mean that's certainly
because they have a lot of improvements in performance, as I was reading on the read online.
Oh,
really? Well, yeah, it is from 5 to 10%, but it's still good.
Yes, indeed. Yes, well, maybe we can talk more about that at the end of the session. Yeah, I can see some changes there on staging. Maybe we can talk more about that. Anything blocking you? Anything else on your mind?
No, nothing else.
Okay, good show. Let's go on. Thanks, Nicola. Let's go on to Brent.
Yeah, what did I do? Yeah, so I finished the embedded map bug fix yesterday. We had the local support meeting. I've not done anything this morning, but this afternoon I plan to finish the Mocha tutorial.
Right.
I've actually started to sort of scaffold what tests I think I need, although I've not fleshed them out yet for the async load client. I've actually just scheduled another pairing session with Parlo on Monday.
Oh, lovely.
So hopefully by the end of that we'll have all of those tests finished.
Great.
The other stuff over the weekend, if I get a chance, I'm going to look at those refactoring tickets for local support.
Okay.
And yeah, I've got the Mook mob coming up and no blockers.
All right, great stuff. Let's go on to Stamatios.
Hey everyone, again.
Hey there.
So I was looking at the breadcrumbs task that we had last talked about. Move the for local support, it was move home tabs to breadcrumbs. I believe you said that task was already completed, although it needed some. It came back and then it needs some updates.
Yeah.
What I did was I got it running locally, and then I looked at the live site, and the breadcrumbs, at least locally, they look completely different.
Yeah.
Than what's on the live sites. And so I didn't see any of the slashes at all. Locally is what I'm saying.
Yes.
You see the 2 arrows.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I've just the same. Oh gosh, Nicola just pointed out.
Yeah.
That there's been a change. I think that's sort of what we're also. I've got the 2 here, which we can see side by side. So this is what it looks like on production at the moment. when it's got this kind of like the 2/ thing. Now, of course, what's happened is what's on staging has got the Rails 5 upgrade. So if we pop that over there, I mean, it's gone into the silly, funny view here. Let's have the staging over there. We can see it. So this is staging. We can see it's now. It's changed. And I mean, we can argue that that's probably for the better in terms of the slashes are probably less comprehensible to people than the 2 arrows. But we've lost the kind of gray sort of dip that the thing was in.
Right.
Right.
Not that is particularly important. I guess the thing I would worry about pushing this latest one out is just it's a bit crowded to have that without any padding around it.
I also don't think it fixes the issue of it showing where we actually are in the page.
No. Although that's maybe
site rather.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, there's sort of various things to tweak, as you say. And again, we don't have to fix all things in one. They can be in multiple things. I guess the question for us is whether this is something that we now want to, hold up doing the deployment for. I guess we could just we can see here that it's working. This is, I guess, is it largely with production data? Not so much. I mean, I did run it locally with production data. Rails 5 obviously running happily in Heroku there. We could push that out. I guess Stomatius is just changing it so that we could kind of restore the padding, something that you'd feel would be relatively straightforward to do?
Yeah, sure. Are you talking about just to put some space underneath? Are you not talking about the gray?
I mean, I would say that the critical thing is like the space underneath. I mean, it's then a different question about. I mean, these things are not difficult to see side by side because if we look at it, I mean, this, like the lack of spacing there, just the reality is not that many people come onto the site. Not necessarily that many people are going to notice. At the moment here, neither of these are clickable. I mean, I guess there's this whole question about like which ones are even supposed to be clickable. I guess we've got this issue of like when we're on the home. I mean, it's again, is it deck chairs or bike shedding or what have you? I mean, from Stomatius, from your point of view, I mean, I think you could use your design intuition in the first instance. I don't know how much CSS you've done or how comfortable you are with CSS.
I feel pretty comfortable with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess it's also. I guess I'm thinking it's not worth holding up the deploy for. To be honest, I would say like probably the thing to do, like it's going to be relatively easy to change. The functionality in the site hasn't changed as a result. We've just somehow lost some sort of styling there. It kind of maybe looks slightly odd to our eyes because we've been used to seeing it with this bar across the top, which makes it stand out. But it could do with a redesign, really. I don't know if maybe even swapping the sides, like the list should be on the. It's like.
I think from a design point of view as well, if you're having the grey bar on the left side, I think it needs to be in line with the sort of header block as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I don't think it looks that great, unfortunately.
No, I agree. I mean, I think there's also this issue that with the map on this side, we've got this stuff about where you are. There's this kind of name, which is the name of the page, ends up being over here, and it's maybe. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So that's something that me and Nicola was discussing in the pair session this week, because on some of the pages, I think it's the newer events page, having the map on the left.
Yeah.
When it drops down for the mobile, it doesn't work properly. So we was actually thinking the best way to fix that is to actually put the map on the right.
Yeah. I'm tempted to agree. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess it's easy to dive in there because we're all on the same project, and so I think we've done our Scrum. We've kind of been around. Unless Stomatius, you've got any other concerns or anything else blocking you?
I just wanted to just ask about clarity, and I think this was related to what Brent had mentioned. I believe it was the last meeting yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So the convention for the breadcrumbs would just be whatever the URL path would be. We just have an extension for every, I guess, for every section in the URL. If that made sense.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think what we would, to me, it makes sense in the breadcrumbs that we've got the if this is the root of this, the breadcrumbs should consist of home, which should be a URL to basically slash, and then the breadcrumb organizations should be a, which would obviously if it descended would be a link to organizations, and then and so on. So I mean there's I think room to expand some of if the words are themselves abbreviations, they could. Is this making sense?
Yep, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yep, looks good.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
And then when you go to an individual organization or VOLOPS, you'd have a
just go deeper, a level deeper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've got it set up so that the organizations, I mean, this is just what the hyperlinks would be rather than how it would be displayed. But yeah, potentially there's like if you're on an individual organization page, and what would let's say there's some organization that's called, I don't know, like HNLC or what have you, and then it's like this.
Gotcha.
I think, but yeah, so I think that we could definitely use your aesthetic and judgment about the user experience, and we can sort of show things to the client and so on. So I think, yeah, we could do that production deploy, which I can maybe work through with Nicola. So I think so. Scrum over, just to go back to the earlier points on the 2.5 thing. What I can sense from Nicola a desire to be on the very cutting, or the latest version of these things. I think particularly with local support, where we've got some folks like Len Song, and also to a certain extent Nick and so on, who are moving at maybe a slightly slower pace. That particularly because performance is like totally not an issue for this project.
I know.
Yeah,
I was trying to find an excuse to use it.
Well, the thing is, come to website 1. That's where we've got the performance issue. So let's upgrade to website 1 to 2.5.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that totally, and Rails 5, and get the performance benefit there, because that's absolutely where we're suffering in terms of performance.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
So I think that would be my suggestion there. I mean, I guess we also need to alert. We need to alert in local support, like everyone that we've upgraded to Rails 5. We've now upgraded, and it's Rails 5.1.4, isn't it? Actually, that we're on. So please update your code and prepare for merge conflicts if you have outstanding branches, e.g. so the people who've got outstanding branches are Stella, Lianzong, Nick. Yes, and that's about the size of it, isn't it? Okay, so let's pop that in there. Yes, I was going to say to Matthias, is the local support, we have the, obviously you can chat about local support in these sort of short scrums. Is the Thursday we have a sort of bigger local support meeting? Is that a generally bad time for you?
Well, I wanted to attend it yesterday. It was around. We're around 3 hours ahead of UTC. So it depends on what kind of a day it is. So I think yesterday was around 7:30 in the evening. So usually around dinner time for us. So like if we could push it back a little bit, it would be a little bit more. I definitely would be able to get it.
Later or earlier?
Yeah, to earlier.
Yeah, yes, we did have it earlier before, so that's a possibility. Yes, so certainly if an earlier time would be better for you. I think Brent and Nicola and myself, we can all make that earlier slot, can't we?
Yeah,
no problem.
If it's I'm gonna put any what's the word? put put anybody into a discomfort or whatnot, but I can definitely like review. Like this morning, I just reviewed the meeting from yesterday and just got caught up to pace on whatever you guys talked about. So
yeah, and we don't do such earth-shaking things in the meeting. The earlier is more difficult for Nick, who's UTC like -8. Although he also hasn't moved a couple. We can. I mean, I would say to anybody actually, I think regularly coming to the scrums is almost arguably more valuable than the weekly meeting, based at least the way we've all been working this week. Yeah. So, well, I think we're all sorted out there now. Is there anything else that we need to do? I guess it's just the well, what we could just quickly do is I could just run through the production deploy with Nicola, and which is exactly the same. I'm going to go ahead and so I would just go check out staging, and then do git pull origin staging. And so again, this is my origin is the main Agile Ventures site, main Agile Ventures site on GitHub. And then I do git checkout master, and we do git rebase staging, and we do git push origin master, and then the tests will run, and if they pass, then it will automatically deploy that to production. And Nicola, you had no particular problem deploying to staging this time. You just used the fact that you could push to the staging branch.
Yeah,
and that automatically.
I follow all the steps, and all the tests were passing. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, great. Well, and I don't see any reason now that you kind of fully understand the process. I think you could have access to the production server, and in principle do production releases yourself in future. Maybe when we next...
Yeah, but I will ask you before.
Yeah. Thanks. We'll maybe do it together one time, and then yeah, I mean it starts to become more of a obviously with the production thing. If something happens to go wrong, then it's potentially impacts the end users. The Hacker Community Network, there are not thousands of people looking at it every day like there are with website one, so it's a good thing to get started with. But I'll get you in there. By the way, on the website one thing, I had all sorts of trouble yesterday trying to add you to the Heroku setup. Did you finally have access to the develop server on website one?
I didn't check. I know that I accepted the invitation, but I didn't check if I.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I had this weird thing where, like, I'm here as an admin, and I should be able to add additional team members, but that just wasn't working, and I ended up deleting you from the team and added you as a collaborator because that's how. So it now says here. So this is. I think it's partly because the website one stuff is within the Agile Ventures charity organization on Heroku. Anyway, so hopefully if you log in, you should now see like website one, not there. You can set up your own favorites that way, but you should be able to go to website one develop.
Okay, I'm here.
Yeah, let's just check that you've got access there. And then Samaris and Brendan, of course, this getting involved in the whole DevOps side. I strongly encourage all developers to be able to ultimately get to the point where they can shepherd their own releases all the way out to production, and sort of.
I can see local support, but I don't see.
By clicking on that
one.
I put the link there for website one develop.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean we'll take this offline. What I'll just quickly do is I'll add you to. Yeah, I guess we've still got the local support is in my company,
It says that I don't have access.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I'm going to probably have to open a support ticket.
Okay.
To what are they called? Heroku to sort this out. Is it vidal@gmail.com?
Yep.
There you go. I now have memorized your email address, so it's hopefully you won't have to give that to me in the future. So then you can. So that's the production one's got out. You've got access to the production server. If we have some kind of weird Rails 5 thing, we can potentially look at it together. Great. Well,
nice.
Thanks everyone. I maybe see some of you in later meetings. If not, have a fantastic weekend. And I think we're talking about also doing a new thing at the community meeting, which we have every Monday, is starting to have like a weekly award for contributors to like there's unfortunately no large cash prize associated with it, but maybe at some point in the future, who knows. But we would just, to sort of celebrate the people who are making great contributions and have sort of like a weekly contribution award, which we'll kind of announce on Monday at the AV community meeting, and sort of, it's bragging rights basically that you get from the.
Okay.
Cool.
Nice.
All right. Great stuff. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.
Yeah. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a great day and a good weekend, everyone.
Yeah,
Bye,
likewise.
Thanks so much.
Cheers all.
Bye.